Good morning. It is Saturday, the 25th of April, maybe, ish. Who can remember? Oh boy. It just seems like days roll into another day and, that kind of thing. Got some happy mail and I thought I would show you it. This came from Sandy of Crochet A. And when I first opened up the box, I was like, what? And then it gives you a list, this nice little sheet of all that. Yeah. And of course they throw in some free, the netting for the threads. It's all these beautiful cones of thread. And I'm going through a ton of thread, so came in very handy. So thank you, Sandy. That was a great gift. I really appreciate it. And I had started taking it back upstairs yesterday. Yesterday I took an entire day off. I did not do any sewing. I did about that much of crochet. And then I did a lot of answering phone calls. Because, I'm still getting masks out to the folks here in the local area, as well as still sewing for different health organizations, nursing homes, if there's any hospitals that still need some masks. Doing a lot of that sewing still. So yeah, it's been an interesting week this week. My husband and I went to get groceries yesterday, and my husband is a late sleeper, and it kind of drives me nuts because I keep trying to tell him, if you don't get up to 11:30, half the day is gone, everything is closed after a certain amount of time. But we went to Walmart because we're trying to stay local, and we have other things that we need besides just groceries. Walmart kind of fits the bill, right? Not a big deal. Except, I'm sure there were a couple, maybe 200 people in the store shopping. All the workers, most of the workers had masks on, not all of them. A couple that didn't. And, I don't know if you know, in Pennsylvania, they've set a thing where if you're going to go into any place to shop or use services, you have to wear a mask. And I've been wearing a mask anyway, not a big deal. But we're in there in Walmart and the manager's walking around because, they have these dots that are not dots, little boxes that are 6 feet apart, telling you to stay 6 feet apart, Well, lines for getting out of the store, paying for your purchases, go through the clothing aisles. That's how long the lines are. And they've even slowed it even further. But the manager's walking around, you need to move back, you need to move forward, you need to, getting people to follow like a herd of buffalo, or as I always call it, a herd of cats. People don't follow directions. And he walks past, and I'm like, you have a worker over there that's wearing that mask improperly. And I said, I realize these masks are for our safety as much as for us not spreading it to someone else. But if she's going to keep wearing that mask under her nose, she needs to go home. She's not doing herself any good, and she's not doing any patrons any good. He looks over and he goes, oh, that's okay. What? It's under her nose. If you're going to wear a mask, people, wear it properly. I don't know if I had told you I'd gone to the laundromat and had taken extra mask in there, because I know there's a lot of clientele that are very low income that go to wash their clothes. One lady in particular, and she and I talk a lot, and she is mentally disabled, so I talk to her quite often, and she enjoys watching me do crochet and knit, and so we just sit and talk, and when they had coffee, they don't have it available now, but I'd make her a cup of coffee or a cup of hot chocolate, and we just sit and talk. And that's what I was thinking of, because she's very low income. She hand washes her clothes at home, and then she brings them up to dry them at the laundromat. She does it like on an everyday basis. Well, she hasn't been coming. Her grandson won't let her come. He's been coming in bringing her clothes in, and I had brought extra masks for those people that couldn't afford masks, because you can't enter the laundromat without mask. And one of the attendants asked me if she could take those. There were 3 that were left. A couple of people taken some masks, and she said, "Can I take the last 3, because we have attendants here who work and don't have masks and haven't been able to get any masks." And I said to her, "How many do you need?" And she went back and looked at the work schedule, and she said, "Well, 6." So I went out and got her a couple, 6, brought them in, told her, okay, these are for your workers. And this was out of the ones that I had sewn to, that I was the next day going to deliver to someone in the community, which just meant I was going to have to make some more that evening, which isn't a big deal. And she was in tears as she was calling her co-workers to tell them she'd gotten them a mask. Now, I'll tell you why this bothers me. The stores and the places like that, the employers are supposed to provide them with that equipment. And you would think laundromat, it's probably not somebody, that owns it that could afford it. That's not true in our case. This laundromat, these people have a lot of money, and they own a lot of the puff stores in our area, in Williamsport, those kind of things. So they have money. They could purchase, even at a higher price, masks to get a mask. And I have a contentious relationship with the owner anyway, so. But the gal that had taken the mask, as I was leaving, the owner come in, and she says hi to me anyway, and I say hi to her. And the attendant was telling her that I had given them masks for the attendants. She came out to thank me, and I said, well, you're welcome, but you do know that you're liable for providing them masks. And she said, no, I'm not. So, okay. Probably went home and sent a message to the Attorney General. Yeah, I'm not being nice these days, but I find that okay. Because, they're supposed to pay. They're supposed to provide those things if they're going to expect them to work under those conditions. So, yeah, I have a little bit of an issue there. But, that's fine. No big deal. It's crazy. Anyway, get back to the story with the Walmart and getting groceries. My husband's standing there griping because we're in line so long. There's so many people in there. There's so many people without masks. Not supposed to be able to enter the store without a mask. And in the meantime, we'd walked down this one aisle. And I had walked past something on the floor, and I thought, that's a coupon. My husband stopped, picked it up. It was two $5 bills. I said, I don't know what you're complaining about. You got paid to come to this, store today. But I told him, I said, I'm telling you, honey, if you come at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning to get these groceries here, it's not like this. But you got to get out of bed before the drug dealers. I mean, that was something we did when we were in home health, is if you were going to a bad neighborhood, you made sure your visits were between 8 and 10 a.m. so that you were there, you were done before, some of the drug dealers and some of the bad folks that are, kind of rough, so that they don't have an idea that they rob you because they think you've got drugs in your nurse's bag and you don't. You just have things like saline, tape, bandages. But they don't know that. And I said, it's just like that, honey. When I was doing that bad neighborhood in Norfolk, Virginia, that's what we did. We went before 10 a.m., got out of there by 11. Because a lot of the folks that were of the ill repute would not get up until after noon, because they're up all night partying, doing other stuff. He just refuses to understand. So he said, okay, I'm willing to go next week. I said, all right, instead of Friday, maybe we'll do Thursday. How about 8 o'clock in the morning? They open at 7. We can come in at 7. I can get you in. I am over 61. Barely. Just turned 61 in February. So we're, he's like, okay. But, yeah, I find it rather funny, because I've told him time after time. He does this all the time. And then he complains about the people that are in there because there's a lot of them, and I'm like, get up earlier. I'm telling you, this parking lot is practically empty. I've come in here 8 o'clock, got in, got out within 5 minutes. Several things I had to get. Man, they can be so annoying sometimes. And then, of course, he's following me. Haven't had a child follow me in years. It's kind of what it feels like. Where are you going next? Going over here. I have to get some more tape. Why? Don't you have enough tape? No, honey. I've been sending out a lot of packages. I need more tape. And it doesn't help that the minute a box comes in the house, the husband cuts it up, and I'm like, I wish you wouldn't do that, because I need some of those boxes to ship some of these masks. What are you going to do? Oh, well. And then it's, at noon every day, it's like, what are we having for lunch? Well, I'm going to have this. You're a grown man. You can fix your own lunch. You've been doing it for years, coming home from the university at lunch to fix your own lunch. I can't do everything for you. So, yeah, it's been interesting. And are we getting on each other nerves? Yeah. Things like that, it annoys me. I get cranky. He gets cranky. I'm like, let's go outside and breathe in the sunshine. It'll be fun. It's good for you. So, once again, I'm going to tell you people, if you're going to wear a mask, wear it right. That just drives me nuts when people don't wear their mask right. And especially there with the store that's trying, to be the let's follow the rules of the the CDC and everything else. And I don't know if your Walmart has done this or not. Our Walmart has put us in the mouse maze. At least that's what I'm calling it. You've got the stickers, green stickers, tell you can walk down the aisle this way. Then you have the red sticker that says don't enter. So you have to go another aisle over to go that way, come back around. Well, I'm trying to behave and follow the rules, but I went down one row wrong. And as I'm walking past, I'm like, oh Lord, I entered from the wrong way. Just send me the fine. And I had said that as I was walking past somebody that was stalking. He stopped and he said, are you okay, ma'am? You're just being nice talking. I said, yeah, I just came down the wrong way. I feel like a mouse today. Can't follow the maze right. Never gonna get the cheese at the end of the line. He started laughing. And he was telling me, he said, talking about fines, he said, I tell you, today we were supposed to start this. He goes, that if someone enters a store or takes their mask off, we're supposed to hit the panic button so they call the police, shut down the store. I said, well, I've already passed 6 or 7 people that don't have any masks. He goes, yeah, I know. He said, sheets, they call the police if you walk in the store without a mask. So we were kind of laughing about that, And we had a little chit-chat and did a little socialization with our mask on. And we weren't 6 feet apart. We were 4 feet apart. But I think both of us masked. We were okay. We had a giggle, laughed about the way I laughed about and told him, about the maze. And he's like, yeah, I know. He said, I think it's a stupid idea. He goes, nobody's following it. I said, yeah, I know. Been trying to, but yeah, feel like a mouse today. And so we had a giggle and we wished each other a good day and went on our merry way. But seriously, I'm like, they're supposed to hit the panic button for them to call the police? Why are they even letting you in through the entrance? They've got people standing there at the entrance, with their little iPads checking to see who's coming in, who's wearing a mask, who's not. So if you're not supposed to be entering without a mask, why are they letting you in the door? Like I said, I saw quite a few people not wearing masks. And like, well, even though the governor said everybody has to wear a mask, what are you going to do if you can't afford it? And the guy goes, you could wear a bandana. Good grief. That makes enough mask. People are getting testy. And now I think our governor extended our little thing till May the 8th. And with Prayer Shawl Ministry, again, they're not going to meet May the 6th, which is our next meeting. And I told the pastor when we were talking, she goes, do you think it'd be okay? She said, there isn't a yarn. I said, Susan, there are 5 totes full of yarn. She goes, yeah, but they're not on the shelves. And, we don't like to go into the totes because that's how you keep track of the yarn. I said, it's okay. I told her, I said, well, okay, I'll meet you there that day and we can hand out the stuff. And then that way I can see the new shelving that one of our other members of the church has been putting up, because I've been helping to organize those shelves and get the stuff on the shelves instead of them just laying on the floor in bags, because that was driving me nuts, and it's a safety issue. So yeah, I do still have work that I need to be doing at the church. I said, Susan, you didn't see my post on Facebook then? She said, no, what was it? I said, well, it was a little story about a group in Oregon, knitters, crocheters, that were meeting in a parking lot outside of the car, socially, socially distancing, wearing their masks, knitting and crocheting. They brought lawn chairs or whatever to sit out and doing that. I said I had made a mention, to another person, maybe we could do a bring your own lunch thing and knit and crochet out in the parking lot. And she said, well, they could do it in the church too. I said, Susan, we don't want to get in trouble with the diocese or whoever it is that's running the show. General Assembly, I think that's what it's called with this one. So she was worried about the yarn. I told her I'd meet her up there, and that way we can go through. Put some of the yarn out, and have a couple of shopping bags available for folks to come up and get some yarn. They can go back there one at a time, or however. I said, but those of us that want, if it's a nice day, we can sit outside in the sunshine, crochet and knit. Hopefully it'll be a nice day. She said that would be great. And part of it is she's a very social person. Of course, being a pastor, most pastors are very social people because they're out there doing a lot of visits and doing a lot of things, that pastors do. Attending to a lot of phone calls and things, those kind of deals. So, May the 6th, I'm going to be at the church to help hand out the yarn if there's anyone that needs yarn. So, it's just life is interesting these days. And I had one of my customers call, and they had ordered a couple of masks, and they wanted to double the order because they had talked with a friend who didn't have masks. She wanted to get some masks for one of her, her friend and the husband. I said, yeah, not a problem. And that's the way it goes when I do these masks. Is someone, Pastor Susan will give the name to someone. Someone calls me, and I meet up with them somewhere for them to get their mask, and generally they call me back before that and say, can I double it or, add one more or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, not a problem. And of course, the way that I do the mask is sell them for a certain price, just like I sell to you for a certain price. It's cheaper than Etsy, so that can help pay for the material so that I can make for healthcare workers. Because the way it's working now is I will make, and I'll give you an idea, if I made 50 masks today, at least half of them are going to go to healthcare workers. If I don't have anybody that needs mask, orders mask, then I will add more to the healthcare worker and take less for those that need it. But I had a shoebox for the people local that I was allowing them to shop out of, and that has now gone into a tote like this for masks. And that, I'm meeting someone up today, and that will be about half gone by the time the day is ended. Lots of times when I'm out, I'll see someone and someone will say, do you know where I can get a mask? Yeah, I do. Follow me out to the car. And I am beginning to feel like a drug dealer. Meeting in alleys and church parking lots. Out in the lot, parking lot. Psst, psst. I got a mask. Cheap, cheap. $5, $5. Yeah. It's kind of the way it feels sometimes. I almost feel like I should have a coat that I flash the mask out. But life is interesting these days, and a lot of my day is spent cutting, sewing, clipping masks, those kind of things. I did tell my husband I'm to the point I am I have maybe 3 days worth of wipes, cleaning wipes, the Lysol, Clorox wipes to wipe down my sewing area, the tools, and the cutting mat. And then I'm going to have some more. It's difficult to find alcohol. Told him, I said, I'm ready to go to the liquor store and get 151% vodka. So now I'll smell like an alcoholic upstairs. But you gotta do what you gotta do, to keep these things clean, those kind of deal. So I hope your day's going better. Hope your shopping is going better. I kind of wish, that we would do the pickups for the groceries, but that's not happening with my man. Yep, just not happening. And I was teasing him. I said, I got thread yesterday. Now if only I could get my elastic. I have elastic stuck in New Jersey and elastic stuck in Los Angeles. Because now, they arrived last week, but they have to go through a 2-week quarantine before they can be shipped out. And then I had purchased self-sealing cellophane bags, and apparently those are stuck in Georgia. And I can understand, with the way the weather has been this last week. But I have taken to using the twist tie food bags to wrap up the mask. And I'll give you an idea how that works. Put the thank you, put the card and the information on how to, what to do with the mask, to wash them, the link for the filters for those that are purchasing, and basically information about how to use it that needs to be washed in between each use, those kind of things. So what I'm doing is just folding those over to seal them, and you can see there's, that little gap there, which the self-sealing bags was supposed to take care of that. And then I'm putting a little piece of tape down here to hold it down here, and the thank you seals it up. So yeah, that's been a rather interesting adventure in itself. That's what I'm doing a lot of at night after I've finished doing the mask, sealing them up and that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into the mask. Try to make sure that I'm doing it in a safe manner, following the CDC guidelines, wash your hands before, clean the whole area and your tools, with the wipes and sanitizing wipes, those kind of things. Then you go wash your hands again before you start working with anything. So, my hands are getting really dry. So, yeah, it's fun times in the city. I miss crocheting, I miss knitting. I miss seeing a lot of the podcasters that I've been watching. So, yeah. I can only figure out how to get the YouTube up there on the TV. I know there's a way to do it, but I don't have time to figure it out. Sad. Alright guys, I think I've rambled on enough, whined enough. Hope you had cheese while you were listening to it, and a good glass of wine with it. Yeah. Alright guys, I'll see you again soon. Hopefully I'll get a little more crochet knitting done today. Have some meetups to go, and then I have to go pick up fabric. I'm going through fabric like crazy. Who would have thunk, huh? All right, see you again soon. And say a prayer for everybody. Say a prayer for yourselves. Say a prayer for the world. I think we've hit one of those plagues. Bye.